I think there is movement, and there's movement in the right direction as well. And it's partly because Gibraltarian representatives have been going over to the UN and trying to make the case for Gibraltar. And what they put across, and I think what comes across at the UN in these committees, is that these are real people who have their own traditions, their own culture, and they have a right to exist. Right? They're not just chattels in real estate, in a piece of contested real estate. They're real people with real lives. You know? And so the way that the Gibraltarians are then discussed within UN committees and in UN resolutions has sort of evolved as well a bit. So originally it used to be just that the interests of the Gibraltarians should be taken into account in any sort of future resolution of the status of the territory. And more recently now, it's about the aspirations of the Gibraltarians in accordance with international law. So the formulation has changed a bit. And I think it's changed also in a progressive direction. And so there is obviously a debate to be had as to whether we're making any relevant progress in the UN, whether it's worth continuing to go there to make the case. I think it's a finely balanced issue, actually. And I think certainly in the Committee of 24, the Special Committee on Decolonization, it's sometimes a very frustrating process because they make all kinds of insinuations about Gibraltar and the Gibraltarians, and they've never once accepted our invitation to come over, visit the territory, see it for themselves, right? And so it's a very politically charged committee full of Latin American states who are principally motivated by the Argentine claim to the Falklands, but they sort of lump Gibraltar in with that. And so we're essentially victims of another discussion that's going on within that committee. But I think it also means that progress within the Special Committee on Decolonization is very slow, it's very frustrating. And I don't necessarily want to get into this debate. There are sort of pros and cons as to whether and to what extent we continue to engage with that committee. Bearing in mind that the membership of the committee isn't set in stone either. So there's a Grenadian chair at the moment. And usually when the Caribbean countries, the sort of former British Caribbean countries, are steering the business of that committee, we tend to get a more favorable response than when it's the Venezuelans or the Ecuadorians.
Very interesting. Now, you were recently awarded the prestigious Round Table Peter Lyon Prize for your article Self-Determination and Contested Peoplehood in Gibraltar, Separating the Law from the Rhetoric. Congratulations. What's the significance of this award for you as a Gibraltarian and a subject matter expert?
Well, it feels significant because I do occasionally write about Gibraltar, but I am quite close to the issue because I'm Gibraltarian and I sometimes work for the Gibraltar government. So occasionally I'm advised to stay away from the issue, just because it's easier to be objective about something that you're not directly involved with. But I do think that as a Gibraltarian, you can provide a sort of unique insight in a way into issues that affect the people of Gibraltar and the place, right? I think if you're not from the place, then you come with the perspective of an outsider, and it's just more difficult to reach nuanced conclusions. So I do think it's important, at least for us Gibraltarians, to tell our own stories. I mean, in the academic world and literature, etc. And it's really encouraging to see how much of that is going on at the moment. And at the same time, I just think it's very important to be scrupulously objective when you're doing academic work of this nature. So having some kind of recognition, external validation in a way of my work in this area is really, I mean, I'm quite encouraged by it,